you. Well, you just saw there Samantha Power also noting, though, that food prices have increased 34% globally, which has prompted her agency to now ask Congress for assistance in easing the food shortage crisis, really on a global scale. But is this just another crisis the left is using to push for green energy? Joining us now to discuss our panel, staying with us, Whitley, Yates, and Ford O'Connell. Thanks, guys, for staying with us to talk about this. I mean, obviously, you don't want to hear this. There's enough going on when you hear the word food shortage. It is frightening to many American families. First, to you, Ford, do you think this fear is being used as a motivation for the left to push this green energy agenda?
Absolutely. Samantha Power said the quiet part out loud, and the Democratic playbook is to never let a crisis go to waste when it comes to regulating all aspects of your life. We saw this during COVID. They regulated the ballot box. They took away basic freedoms when it came to association and gathering. And now they see the Ukrainian crisis is another way to change the habits of American farmers and global farmers around the world. And we don't even know if this is the best way to go in these crazy times. But what the Biden administration is not talking about is a brokered settlement between Ukraine and Russia, which might actually fix the problem in and of itself.
Gee, well, that's a novel idea. How about that? And the war that's raging in Ukraine. Whitley, what do you make of the comments that we heard from her?
I mean, what else can we expect at this point? They are trying to push Americans towards centralized government, relinquishing our freedoms so that they can make the choices for us. And it's crazy that they would be attempting to utilize what's happening to make us afraid, when in reality, I live in Indiana. It's a top agricultural state. We have Republican senators who have placed bills like the Farm Bill, which would help support such agricultural farms, nutrition and programming right now. But he doesn't want to support those programs. So they want to talk about the fear of all of these things happening without supporting the farmers in our country.
Right. And the numbers are, I saw someone post something on social media that there were some strawberries at Whole Foods for $19.99. I mean, you have to rub your eyes and go, was this real? I mean, some of the increases, we want to throw up some numbers here so you guys can react to these. Beef and veal up 16.2% in the past 12 months. Fresh frozen chicken up 15%. Look at this. Eggs more than 11%, milk more than 11%, fish and seafood. But then here are some other numbers which really, Washington should be looking at. The recent Gallup poll, and that's 39% of Americans say economic issues are the most important issues that we face today. In fact, 17% right there, you see it's the cost of living and inflation that they're concerned about. 12% feel it is the economy overall in general, and 6% feel it's oil and fuel prices. I mean, Ford, these are things that are keeping people up at night. And when you heard the Democrats for so long saying it's transitory, this inflation, not even wanting to talk about it, it has really hurt them now because we're almost at a point of no return to fix this before the midterms. It doesn't look good.
Well, it's not going to be fixed before the midterms because it takes 6 months for economic effects to be felt on the ground. But remember why one of the key reasons why inflation is rising, besides Biden's out-of-control spending, it's the fact that he wants to choke the United States off of fossil fuels. We're producing 1.5 million barrels less per day. That is basically 40% of the producer price index. And if you want to know why food prices are rising so much, it's right there. It's the Biden push for green energy that is actually decimating this country. I will be honest with you, the Democrats are hell-bent on destroying this country, and we have a country to save.
Yeah, we do. And every day it seems to be getting worse and worse, unfortunately. Well, let's talk a little bit about free speech and censorship. It's a topic that a lot of people have been, championing. Elon Musk and his move and, winning to buy back Twitter, buy Twitter. CNN analyst, though, David Zurwick over the weekend saying that regulation is needed on Twitter now that Elon Musk will be taken over. Here is his comments.
But you need controls on this. You need regulation. You cannot let these guys control discourse in this country, or we are headed to hell. We are there. Trump opened the gates of hell, and now they're chasing us down.
So now we're heading to hell, Whitley, apparently, because there's going to be less censorship. Your take?
It's no fun when the rabbits got the gun. When they controlled the algorithms, when they controlled who gets to speak, when they controlled who was on the platforms, when they controlled who got to tweet, it was okay. But now that they don't have that level of control over us, and now that freedom is about to ring on these social media sites, they're running scared. And that is a part of the problem in and of itself. And so what we see consistently is the hypocrisy across the board on all levels. And cancel culture and freedom of speech is just another one of those elements.
Yeah, I found these comments, pretty comical because, if you're heading to hell, well, maybe it's retribution for all the stuff you've been doing for so long. I mean, you have to wonder that they're saying this aloud now, and just irate. The left is irate over Musk's move here.
Well, Whitley's exactly right. Look, Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter threatens the Democrats' ability to control the narrative in the news media, and it scares them to death. They don't believe that free speech strengthens democracy. They believe that the only way that they can win is by controlling the narrative in the news media. That's the powerful portion of Twitter. And essentially, without being able to silence their critics and censoring things they don't like, they fear that they may not win any more elections. Donald Trump didn't open this door. Barack Obama opened this door, and Donald Trump proved that if you can get past the Democrats and the journalists that serve them, then guess what? The Americans will find out the truth.
Yeah, and we've had two members of the FCC come out and say that it's un-American to, push back on Elon's move here. We have, nothing to say about this. We're standing by, we're supporting him. And it does seem like the timing of this disinformation unit 2 days after, we know what the goal is there. Whitley, Yates, Ford O'Connell, always great to have you with us. Thanks so much for joining me here today. Appreciate your excellent insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.